Welcome. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. If we're tuned in, we're in the Odd Spartans Halo 4v4 tournament, single elimination. I gotta mute the Twitch stream too, so I don't hear myself. It looks like we already got our teams in the lobby here too. We got LHC up against John Halo, I believe, Eli. This should be a pretty fun day of Halo. I'm looking forward to it. Eli, I'm happy to be here casting with you. How you doing, brother? Just first off.
I'm doing good, man. Just got back from Worlds a few weeks ago. I unfortunately got sick, but I'm over that now. And I'm excited about Season 5, man. I mean, I've been playing the hell out of it. The Bandit is just so fun to use. All these players have had time to get used to the Bandit, so they're going to be using it as well. And it looks like they're ready to go. So, Spartan, you can go ahead and start the lobby. We're going to start off with some live fire oddball. This is one of the tougher game types, in my opinion, that we play currently. And hopefully these guys have had some practice because this game type requires a lot of teamwork.
It definitely does. I find this and strongholds, especially on this map, is a tricky one to play. We're going to have, I assume, a variety of different strategies here. Eli, I know you're kind of the mastermind when it comes to, let's say, strategic Halo play. How would you kind of set up on this map and run this?
I mean, honestly, the best places to hold the setup would be the tower or B side. Obviously, you can throw the ball off the map if things go south, but the main way you want to play it is no matter where the oddball is, you just want to cover both the left and right side, take a lot of space around the oddball player so that the spawns are forced on the opposite side of the map, and then you can essentially just watch all the different lanes that could potentially approach your oddball carrier. So you want to make sure you're watching left, right, center. Make sure those spawners have a very difficult time dealing damage to the oddball.
Have you noticed that the pace of play has changed at all with the Bandit starts? Like, I assume that, like you said, the game plan is kind of the same, right? Where we're holding the oddball, ideally you want that play position nearby. You want your teammates kind of around it. But with the Bandit in play, closer quarters gameplay, faster time to kill. Is it a little bit more kind of back and forth in your games that you've noticed recently?
It seems like setups are broken a bit easier because it is harder to apply pressure across the map. So it's easier to move quickly off of your spawn point. It does feel like the game's a bit more fast-paced now and in your face, and it's going to really lend to folks like yourself that master the movement mechanics in the game. I think movement is getting even more important now, especially with the Bandit starts and just the speed of the game that we're playing now.
I've tried to talk about it a little bit recently. I think you're absolutely right. It's the amount of damage that you can do and the speed that you can do the damage. I think the big factor is the BR. You're shooting the burst. It takes time for the burst to come out. If you sprint too quickly out of the burst, you cut the burst in half. So you actually lose damage output and timing. So it's more than just the speed of the time to kill, but you can output even more damage at a higher speed with the Bandit start change. So yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of it. Like you said, you're expecting more trades, more setup breaks. I wonder if that means more high kill totals. If we see, like a 50, 60 bomb type match, especially out of the pros once we see this in pro play.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm excited to see what the pros do with it. But I think the players are ready to get going. Let's go ahead and start this matchup. Go ahead and press play there from the observer screen. And
let's do it.
I'm excited to get this started. In your opinion, would you rather spawn Eagle or Cobra on this one?
I prefer spawn. Wait, you know what? Which side is Eagle? Which side is? I prefer spawning in the A house.
That's Eagle.
That's Eagle.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I have a set strat. I run out through OS side. I try to overextend. If I get into a fight, I'll take the fight. But if not, then I find myself in a flank position. And I generally like playing from that side. It puts me in tower at the end of the strat, which gives me a good setup for OS later. If I'm looking back on OS, if anybody's kind of extended back through, let's say, key door through to A, just gives me a high ground advantage as opposed to pushing the opposite side of the map. I'm a push out through B. I'm a challenge for the repulse. If I don't have a teammate with me, there's a high possibility I get melted like in the open right off the rip. So a little bit trickier to play, like kind of higher risk, maybe high reward. But that's generally how I run it. What about you, Eli?
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much play towards the OS in both cases because even though the OS doesn't spawn for 30 seconds, like I can possibly flank and apply pressure to the players going on the other sides of the map. It kind of works for me, but I mean, I think the beginning of live fire is always so interesting, right? Because this is one of the only maps that we have a delayed spawn of an item. So it creates some interesting strategy where do you you want to play for all the other things on the map, but then you also want to be able to get out there after 30 seconds have elapsed to also get the overshield. So it does create a lot of interesting strategic decisions, in my opinion.
Really good point. And I think especially for other game modes like King of the Hill and or even Extraction, now that that's started, that's a big dilemma. Is do we just dive for the extraction point, secure that right away? Because even doing that is now that we're starting to learn is puts you and your team in kind of a power position off the rip. The oddball a little bit trickier though, right? Because you want to make sure you've got slays. You want to make sure you have a numbers advantage. If you're desperate for the ball, you're going to be a beacon on the map for everyone else. So we'll see how they play it, right? Should be a bit of a brawl off the rip here.
Looks like we're going to start off with LHC Savage. We're not super familiar with all these guys. I know I've seen this Jiren before, but I'm excited to see how these players have practice. I mean, all these guys certainly have experience on this map and some great shots off the start.
Yeah, notice the strat off the start too. All 4 members of Red Team here sent their players out through OS side. I don't know if they heard our conversation coming into this Eli, but they all just used my strat together and it worked out pretty damn well. They got the ball, they got the kills off of it, and the coverage over OS here. So that's a little ball setup opportunity here for our Red Team.
They also cut literally all the weapons on the map at the same time. So they've got Heat Wave, Sniper, Overshield, and the ball set up. And they've got the ball at the tower where I said it was probably the best place to put it. Looks like they know that Hero Brian here is good with the sniper rifle. It looks like a teammate actually dropped it for him. And wow, he's already going for quick scopes. This guy's confident.
This man's looking snappy for sure. He's got the repulse in the back pocket. He's pretty decked out at the moment. Here comes the cavalry though, right? 2 pushing up on tower. Nice use. Nice attempt with the repulse. He's trying to reposition here. Looks like he's got his teammates around him to keep this ball in play.
Yeah, I love the just kind of organized chaos that we're seeing so far out of Red Team. They're playing the situation pretty well. They lost some numbers, but they kept the ball top tower. Jeez. They're still applying pressure to these spawners. This sniper player is just roaming, dealing tons of damage. Huge double kill killing spree already off the rip. Goes for the triple, misses it. But he's going to get the kill anyways, and they're just playing keep away with this oddball. Oh my god. This guy's
Hero.
Off.
Yeah, I see you. Hero Brian, 0504, making a statement. First sniper, he's using it perfectly, I'd say. Still got 1 bullet, and he makes it count. My god. That's 2 dead. That's the OS spawn, and 52 points and counting. Making him look like a matchmaking squad out here on the side of blue.
Absolutely. I mean, the rotations out of this player have been very impressive. He seems to be making himself an extremely difficult kill every step of the way. Already starting the game 10-2. That's what you want to see if you're Red Team.
And finally, Hero does die. And does this lead to an opportunity for LHC? That's nice. 2 kills right there. Ball collected. Hopefully a bit of a setup. Might be scrappy. You can see they're already playing defense. Nice pickup by Kilmer. And finally, a moment to breathe here for Blue Team as they do make the push through OS side. They might have an opportunity here.
Yeah, if you're Blue Team, you really got to take advantage of this moment. You don't want to sit too far back. I think a lot of teams play a bit too condensed around the ball player, maybe playing defense a little bit too hard. And as we see here, there just wasn't enough pressure to stop Red Team from just barreling their way back into the setup. Able to break it pretty easily. They forced the play ball, and they were ready for the new ball, bottom mid. It looks like they just immediately take it right back to the tower as they're killing the last member of Blue Team. So very organized and great gameplay out of Red Team so far.
Yeah, and a great point that you brought up, though. It's not good enough to just, get the kills, pick up the ball, and hold it in tower. You have to, assert confidence off of the little opening that you get and keep them back, give them very limited control to break that setup, immediately after. So I think we saw a little bit of that push and pull right there. The ball finally leaves tower, though. We got a bit of a rotation here over to A side. Somebody seems to have killed himself on the feed. Might give some breathing room for Blue Team here. And a typical spot, you'd see the ball right next to the scoreboard as things get kind of dicey.
Yeah, I think the added movement ability means a few more suicides on accident. Maybe. I know I've slipped a little too hard with the curb slide off the map before, but
this is
I'm sure it's even worse for you, but great looking situation here for Blue Team. My concern, though, is they're not blocking the B side, and I think that Red Team's going to be able to just push straight through top mid and potentially big door, but Blue Team could potentially decide to rotate this. Overshield coming to cut off the expected pushers here. And yeah, it didn't feel like they had enough eyes on the top of the map. Red team able to just kind of push their way through, found a blind spot in the blue team setup, and able to break it quite quickly. But the ball gets rotated to B.
Good to see the rotation with the ball. At the very least, they can kind of stave off the opportunity here for Red. You know what? Getting a pretty significant amount of time off that little opening. Here's a nice double, thanks to Rabinos to delete them. But another good point that you brought up here, and just this idea of turtling with your setup, with the ball. If you don't spread out, if you don't take space, I think we saw the sniper player just sitting next to key door in the corner, right? Like if he spread out to back A with a sight line on big door, sight line on top mid, then maybe they have some more breathing room. Maybe the setup kind of lasts. So I think a big takeaway here, but not over, right? Still an opportunity, maybe if they can push this in 10 seconds.
Yeah, this is the last push right here. If they don't kill the ball guy and his bodyguards, it's going to be bad news. But only one player left on red team, and it's 3 alive, all 4 now alive for blue team.
Oh,
and they actually do quite a good job to shut him down. But I want them to spread out, like we've been saying. They can't just sit back like this. Red team's going to wait for the push. Savage, though, had great positioning to stop the push short, but that kill might just seal the game.
That's the skill gap right there. Savage, first shot in the fight, had an opportunity for it, but he jumped a little early and got caught missing, and ball collected. Final second here in B, and I dig the attempt there, and I think it was Moon to stop that one, but just too little too late. That's a round over to red team.
Yeah, and if you guys are new to Halo Infinite, it is a best 2 out of 3 rounds in Oddball, each round to 100 seconds. A little different from old school Oddball and other Halos. Kind of like the change. The full reset gives teams the opportunity to just completely change the strategy. Maybe they said, okay, we recognize that what we did that round didn't work, but now we've got a fresh new round to start. Let's see if blue team can take advantage of the reset here.
Definitely a big fan. I mean, the game type is a lot longer, I think, as a result of the round setup, but a big fan of the comeback potential, right? The fact that you pick up the ball, the timer freezes, anything can happen, you know, even at 99 points here. So far, we've got some good slays, though, on the side of red. And Hero Brian, by the way, 21 kills, 7 deaths. Witcho here sitting with 4, looking to pad the stats a little bit for once now that he has the sniper.
Yeah, Hero Brian. Not familiar with this guy, but I feel like I need to be. I'm hopefully I don't match against this guy in matchmaking. He looks like a demon on the sticks. And we've got the heat wave now in the hands of Savage. So far, the sandbox control has definitely been on the side of red team, so I am looking to see blue team hopefully hold on to guns like the heat wave, maybe grab the sniper that I saw sitting bottom tower. If they're able to pick up more items on the map, they could potentially overcome some of the slaying prowess on the side of red team.
At the moment, though, they seem a little overwhelmed. Nice back smack on the feed at a Moon. That'll help out. Savage just looking to stay alive. Ball still being held up in tower. Here comes the push, though. Hero Brian with one of the feed. Nice little trade for Moon as they keep things even. Ball not played, though. And Hero with a chance to get some kills. I'm not sure what happened with Savage there, but looks like he was dead either way.
Yeah, I mean,
ball, I think.
And we saw what this player could do with this sniper last round. I'm worried for blue team. It's already starting to do some damage, pushing this player back. Oh, insane snipe there. The accuracy, it's the perfect with the bandit rifle. And the overshield's going to be up fairly soon here. Hopefully they can...
He's not missing this.
Yeah, that player's already dead. I think the overshield still down there. Yeah, overshield's still down on cuts. Looks like blue team is finally able to get it, but not before losing several members in the process.
Hero sitting at 26 now as well, so definitely looking pretty confident on the map. Finally, though, an opportunity for Kilmer. I think Hero tried to land a little NiNjA off the clamber there on tower. Really intelligent attempt. Thankfully for LHC, they're going to get away with it. A bit of a scrappy exchange. They finally got the ball once again. Not a lot of time to work with here. They're already 75 on the board here for red team. We got to see some very efficient play at a blue if they want a shot.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to take a clean break. Also, find the spawners, kill them. They do have a lot of space to work with. The spawns are kind of split right now. This is kind of the faster pace that we're used to seeing now with the bandits, as players all over the map. But, I mean, it's quick team wipe on the side of red team to take out all members of blue. They're also taking the ball to tap. But all members are at the bottom of the map. I'm hoping that they rotate to the top and then apply some pressure here.
This might be tough. Last opportunity for LHC. They got to time their push together, too. Any deaths here or massive, big kill at a Kilmer to stay alive and cuts. Ball player still up at 85. forced to play it. So another opportunity here for Blue. And if they can very quickly transition this ball back to tower, they might have an opportunity to get it to safe haven. Though I like this out of Kilmer, right? Pushing past the ball, securing some slays with his teammates to hopefully come out of this team fight on top.
Actually, great point. I mean, right there, playing in front of the ball, instead of just desperately grabbing the ball, you recognize you have to make some space for your teammates to get anything out of the next sequence. So to do that, you're going to have to play in front of the objective, be a bullet sponge, get some kills, clear some space, and due to that, they've actually got a nice setup, and they're accumulating some time here on the tower.
And I guess at the same time, it's very situational, right? Because like initially, I'm thinking, do they have timing? Can he just collect the ball, rotate it to tower? But his teammates are with him. They're applying the push together. So, you know, even more of a reason to make sure that you push past the ball, you play for that second round of slays, and you get your guaranteed a ball time here, which did translate 71 points. Not too shabby. 85 here, of course, to close it out for Red, and still under some pressure. I like the attempt here out of Hero Brian as he tries to stay alive, but it's the team play in the end of the day that's so important in these situations.
Absolutely, and we've got LHC Black. I think that was actually a triple kill that he got there. Kilmer's going to clean up the... he's just going to pick up the ball and get some time, and they're right back in this. I mean, if they can hold on to this for the next 20 seconds, this is definitely doable, but they're going to have to stop the push from Red Team, and they're going to have to stop it quick.
Yeah, they are in trouble as far as numbers right now. Good trade. In mid, I take it back. 3 dead for Red. Witcho report last up here. He's not going to be able to do much alone. There's the nice little flank out of Savage as they close it off with the final 4 seconds here. A nice little regain at a Team Blue to bring us to a tie in game 1.
Amazing. What a way to start the stream other than a round 3 oddball. This is playing very fast too. I mean, there's not a lot of time that the ball is not being held. So those are some of the fastest 2 rounds of oddball I've seen in quite a while. The opening break on this is going to be so important. Who's going to get the items? Who's going to get this first overshield? Savage really picking it up. Maybe they just needed that first round to warm up a bit, because all of a sudden they're looking a lot stronger in these second and third rounds.
Definitely moving and grooving a little bit here. Savage just staying alive. Finds himself another kill. Rabinos forgetting about the man. He didn't fully back off. Make it 2. And Savage on a little spree here. Just stay up in time for OS. This could be a massive play. His team working together. That's access to snipe. That's the ball. That's the OS and B-side spawns and a heat wave up beside him there too. So much artillery to work with here.
Great awareness as well from Savage. He didn't just stay on the other side. He probably predicted this B-side spawn. Takes a fast route through bottom middle to try to cut them off. And blue team's looking very capable of making this comeback a reality. I'm not a huge fan of holding the ball in here, though. I like that he's deciding to rotate it out, but it might have been too late to do so.
They definitely hit their stride, though. I think that's the big thing. And I think we definitely noticed that at the end of the previous round in how they flanked and took space, especially killing Witcho at the end, right? Like cutting through cuts, coming back around, and really kind of dominating more of the map and rolling together. Look at the team shots here. Moon and I think Black working together to rotate the ball and secure some kills.
Yeah, they want to get the ball off the map because this sequence has not really gone in their favor. Savage getting a huge kill right there, but he's still one shot. If he can kill this next player, get the ball off the map, it's going to be great for his team. Looks like a member of Red Team threw it off for him, and that was a crazy fight there, able to get that kill before taken down. But his primary objective there was just get the ball off the map and reset the situation, because Red Team was starting to heat up a little bit in that moment.
I do definitely love these 1v1 fight dynamics, though, right? Like it's you can already tell just off the the first 5 minutes of gameplay how different 1v1s are with the Bandit in play, and the fact that anything could happen, right? Like you could be full shields, your opponent one shot, that fight could be turned around. If you start missing, things can go bad pretty quickly.
Absolutely, and like this is what we wanted to see from them in round 1 when they're holding the oddball. They're actually pushing forwards away from the ball carrier. Push the opponents back. If you kill them, but on the other side of the map, they never have a chance to even deal damage to your ball carrier. Looks like they saw some grenades come in from the cut side. That's how he's able to recognize that player was there. Goes to cut him off. I don't know if they had to play the ball just yet. They probably could have held the ball closer to tower and maybe a safer position, but Red Team's still able to force the reset. Getting some kills now. This is their comfort zone. If they can get the ball to the tower, this seems to be where they've been able to accumulate a majority of their time, but it's Hero Brian, their main slayer, the one with the ball. You have to imagine, the guy with 35 kills might not need to hold the ball. He needs to be out there killing these players that are coming off spawn, but Hero Brian showing that he's a team player. He's going to do what he needs to do in each moment.
He's somehow still keeping this in play, though. Red holding it down here. I think he traded the ball out with his teammate up above. That trade not going to go through, though. 2 dead. An opportunity to play it out. So great work out of Jiren just to stave things off here. Getting kind of chaotic, though, right in the back of tower. Blue really putting it together with teamwork and efficiency, and I think it's kind of caught our red team off guard. I think the question now is, how can they kind of adapt to this new level of speed and pressure here? And bait attempt, I think, at a kill murder. There we go.
Yeah, you could tell there he was just kind of gatekeeping the ball. I think I would have actually preferred him to just stay up top. I mean, when you're the sniper player, you have to really value your life. That's such a powerful tool, especially after we saw what Hero Brian can do with it if it does change hands to red team. So maybe a little impatient there. Probably had a call out from his teammate that the player was weak, felt the need to drop down and respond to that call out. But the longer this goes on, the better it favors the team that's currently in the lead. This kind of scrappy, chaotic, lots of kills going to both teams. No team really able to get significant time like we saw in the first 2 rounds. And the longer this goes on, the longer it favors blue team.
Definitely looking that way. 66 and counting here. They could be closing this out with some perfect play, but a nice little flank back tower at a Jiren. Finds himself a back smack. Maybe an opportunity for a ball pickup, but the fight still goes down here. Black not gonna... Bit of a dance between the two of them, but he comes out on top. That ball's still in play, though, right? Scrappy points back and forth for both teams here all over tower. We haven't seen one solid setup this set, I don't think.
Right, and I think it's partially what we talked about with Bandit starts. I mean, we're going to see more games like this that are just constant scrapping and action, and it's going to be very exciting to watch. I think any tournaments, this is probably the first tournament that I've seen with the Bandit starts, so shout out to Odd Spartan for putting this together. Fun little community event here, small bracket, but we get to see some passion out of these players that you might not normally see otherwise, and get to talk about some fun situations in the new meta. Wow, this he's going for the sticky and then the NiNjA. That could have been crazy if he pulled that one off.
Just getting full mileage off his life. I respect it. And well, it happens. They're still collecting time, right? This is getting closer and closer as it goes. Ball sitting bottom tower. Jiren just a line of defense, trying to find a target here. He's got his teammates up above to help him out. They're just about to tie it here. 2 minutes on the clock as well. This one definitely going down to the wires. LHC, their grip slipping a little bit here, and they might have to opt to play for the OS too.
Savage, though, with the heat wave, he's got 2 to make that 3 kills in a row now, and they force the ball to get play balled, but they're going to want to be on the new ball. Looks like Kilmer trying to beat red team down to the play ball. In these close situations, it's so important to be ready to drop down here when the ball is played, because it doesn't matter if you play ball it if the other team just grabs it right off the spawn point, you're not there to stop them. So this overshield, like you said, can be quite consequential, though, and it looks like it's going to go to red team.
Yeah, Savage right now with the ball, trying to keep that alive. Can't quite see it. I'm not sure if he got a chance to play it off the map. I don't think he did. So the OS in the full team up, right? That's a massive opportunity here for red team, and a last-ditch effort for blue to break the setup. 10 seconds to get there. Hero with an OS on C plat. Kilmer getting tagged in the back. There's nothing he can do. The whole team will drop as red clutches up and closes out our game 1. Wow.
What a roller coaster of a game. The first round looked like it was all red team. Second round, all blue team. Even the first half of the third round seemed all blue team, but that was the scrappiest, most back and forth round that we saw the whole time. Of course, it's the third one, and red team with a great comeback. So when they have some ice in the end, and I think it was Hero that had over 40 kills, maybe almost 50 by the end of it. So huge, massive slaying performance out of him.
Big shout out to Hero Brian popping off, right? That opening sniper life, I think, was the most impressive. He really made a statement off his first life in the game. But I'm pretty optimistic about this series now, Eli, just off that, like how back and forth that was. LHC's ability to regain by the end of round 1, and especially round 2 to kind of give us a game there, gives me the impression that they could bounce back. They could absolutely take this thing.
Absolutely. And I mean, if they can put up more slaying power, though, from red team into game 2, which is Slayer. It's like we're going to Streets Slayer for game 2. So, I mean, I'm really curious to see which of these teams is going to win the opening break. We know there's so many weapons on Streets to play for. So whichever team gets hold of the early weapons and is able to play aggressive towards spawners is probably going to have the upper hand going into the later game. But I think we're going to take a quick break. Just to switch over to the please wait screen real quick, and when we come back, we'll have game 2 for you guys.
Turned it off. Oh, no, I got it. Yes, we're loading up the map. Let's do this.
Looks like we're on the right scene now. So, welcome back, guys. Our team not back. Oh, one of them said they're not there.
Apparently. Are we back?
We're back.
Ladies and gentlemen.
We're live. Yeah.
The Odds Spartan, Ghouls, and Ghosts 4v4 Halo tournament continues. We are in game 2 in our best of 3 series. LHC just lost by a close shave here against our red team. I'm Shyway. I've got the very knowledgeable Eli with me on the comms. Eli, how you doing again, brother?
I'm doing good, man. This is always fun to talk about Halo. I mean, I play Halo all day, every day, or Halo. I mean, it's all I do. So.
You live it, you breathe it.
Exactly. And
sold your soul.
Pretty much. And it's fun to have you on the cast here with me. We've got to play quite a bit together, talk about strategy, and
yes,
that's a lot of fun, man. So I'm happy to be here.
It is. Happy to have you, man. And especially, regarding strategy, we've been kind of doing a little preamble, I think, before every map and game type, talking a bit about how things run. I think Streets, in comparison to Live Fire, we already saw a fast pace of play in Live Fire. Street Slayer, totally different story. We're looking at either what's the word, is just like mind numb or just back-breaking pace. It's very fast, or
yes.
It's stalemate. Right? It's one or the other, depending on the weapons and the state of play.
Right. I think that at the highest level and during like high importance tournament gameplay is really the only time that we see slower gameplay on this game type. I don't think we're going to see much of that in this, but the reason we see it slow down sometimes between like phase and optic, for example, is because like they respect each other so much and they know that any misstep is going to lead to that one death could lead to a collapse, which could lead to a spawn trap cycle. So it's like every single mistake that you make at that level is magnified. I think that for normal humans like ourselves and the folks humans that are on the screen, us mere mortals, we might not have to worry quite so much about that level of disadvantage state. But I mean, at the same time, when you watch those players, you should think and understand the reasoning they do so, and maybe use that as a reason to also slow your game down. But I think that we're probably not going to see a very slow pace game. I think this is going to go pretty fast, and they're going to be holding forward for a majority of it. So it's going to really come down to the team that holds the best items, I think.
I think so too. And speaking of holding forward, I think there's no better time to do that than the opening strat off the rocket pickup, off the the shroud, the stalker, shoddy. We could snowball into 10, 12, 14, plus kills if a good opening strat takes place here. So definitely don't want to die for free. Let's see what these boys do on LHC.
Absolutely. And keep in mind, this is a best of 3. So if red team wins this, the blue team's last game of the tournament. So they're going to really want to come out strong here.
Well, Savage picked up the stalker, took it to benches off the starting strat. Interesting route. Not typically what you see. I thought that was his opponent for a second there with the rockets, but we're safe. We're good. He's got rockets secured on the side of C here as he sits and waits for, I believe that was the threat seeker popping off, and to try to find some of their incoming opponents. Looking rough for red team off the rip here.
Yeah, we see Kilmer making use of the Sentinel beam. Not talked about enough, in my opinion, but secretly a power weapon. That thing can shred. You got to have good aim to get a lot of good value out of it. You have to have significantly good tracking, track your opponent as they move through space, and you can melt some opponents very rapidly. It looks like red team here, Hero Brian, trying to just lay down tons of nades, completely shut down the purple lane here. He's going to rotate, see if any of his opponents leaked through mid. Comes right back to purple. I actually really like the way this guy plays. He's covering multiple lanes at the same time. Seems to confidently hit his shots when he needs to. Look at this play, just pushing all the way through. Gets the double melee, somehow doesn't trade that out. Finally gets taken down by LHC Black.
Sometimes just full confidence on the double beatdown. You kind of surprise him in timing. You come away with the kill there. I think just the sheer speed of Hero Brian is offsetting these players, their expectations, and giving them a bit of an advantage. We're tying things up, but at least we got high ground control here for red team as they try to play some defense. Black going to get himself caught in, I guess, an unintentional bait there. Kilmer picks it up, and just back and forth trades here for red and blue as we get a 2-kill advantage.
Every advantage so important on this map, in my opinion, because, I mean, if you're the team in the lead, you don't necessarily have to push. I think on this map, you want to definitely wait till you have a pick and then collapse once you have a numbers advantage. But right here, no one really contesting rockets. It looks like more members of blue team out in mid-map. Jiren, the only player on red that really went out to even look at the rockets. You'd have to wonder why more members were not looking in that direction. I think blue team might have got away with one rocket in the chamber. Wicho here with the shotgun. Oh, gets taken down by Savage. That's a big kill if you're blue team.
Yeah. I would have liked to see him use the threat seeker in mid-map for the rocket pickup, right? He could have tagged at least 3 players, and then he would have at least had the info on the push there with the shotty. Unfortunately, found himself kind of caught with his pants down, and now the artillery on the side of LHC. Still down by 1 kill, but right, there's the threat seeker. Looks like he didn't pick up anything with it. But just having the weapon, so important in these standoff situations.
100%. With this shotty, he can push a bit more confidently into red team because this is the gun you're afraid of if the other team has this. But red team doesn't care. They're just going to push into here. Like I said, once they get a numbers form, they recognize that the rest of the members of their team have less firepower to work with. And Savage hasn't really been able to move. He can't get any value out of the shotgun because he just keeps getting pinned back down to bottom C. And I think that if you're let him cook or blue team in this situation, you really do have to start taking space, which you're starting to do now. Starting to check and see where members of red team are hiding, but right now the defense is just too strong on red team.
Well, is it Savage with the shotty? I think he would have to take a risk and just push hard out perimeters through red rooms, through B, and be the first one to start things off. I think is kind of the issue there, right? His teammates pushing instead of him, and he continues to find himself caught in this excellent team cross kind of setup we have from red team. They're definitely supporting each other on the sight lines. They're working off each other well, and it's a lot of pressure here for blue. Rocket's about to pop here too. That high ground advantage going to be so important for Rockets, so we'll see how Wicho and team kind of organizes for this.
And they are proving me wrong. I didn't expect to see this patient gameplay from both teams, but both playing kind of a chess match. Blue team elects to try to push through Cafe before the rockets come up, trying to make some space for their teammates to go and grab rockets. I love the distraction technique. It also just makes it very difficult for red team to go for the rockets. Not sure where the rockets ended up though.
Good question. We got a blue team swarm there on B stairs as Jiren just watches. Can't do anything to save his teammate. Nice nade, gonna back him off. And once again, not quite sure where the rockets are. I don't think I saw him in the feed. They might be on a player in blue, just kind of sitting and waiting. Here comes the team push either way. It's about to be a brawl here on B side.
Oh, their rocket comes out. Looks like Savage, the one that had it. They don't get any value out of the rockets, but they do take down a couple members of red team. You're gonna really need to clean this situation up though. Down by 4 now. And honestly, it feels like they should have been able to come out on top in the last engagements, but red team too slick. They're able to play their lives and get out of these situations.
You talked about this idea. Sorry.
Go ahead.
This idea of respect, right, between one team and another, and I think maybe blue is giving them a little bit too much respect, right? Like I feel like if they can just time their push together and play confidently, aggressively, there's a nice kill in the feed from Kilmer and some support here. But with the Rockets, like you said, they could have put together, I think, a little bit more.
Absolutely, and even right there, they had a 4v2 situation. Red team able to get 2 kills even when down. Kind of trade that out, and it's still a 4-kill advantage for red team. So that entire situation so far has just traded out. Moon though gets the gifted spawn, so this map is going to cause more split spawns than just about any other, just because it's so small, right? Like it's too easy to block lots of different spawns at the same time. So you have to take advantage of these spots where you spawn away from your team. Moon does a great job of that. Just immediately goes straight to mid map, gets behind the players that are currently attacking his teammates on the other side, and because of that, we've now dropped the kill disparity to 3, but it's still, these trades are in favor of red team.
Definitely starting to see that spawn system come into play a bit, though. Like you said, that push up onto A splits it over to C, so Kilmer found himself in the middle of 2 players. He's done a great job just navigating around it long enough to get involved in this little rocket exchange here. Savage going to come out with the kill, just down by a few kills here, so a good opportunity for blue to find more. There's Savage. Can they push up off this? You can see him getting aggressive. Blue, they have to work together to push their advantages because Savage find himself a little bit alone.
Wow, now 5-kill advantage for red team. They seem to just barely get the edge in so many of these situations. Even when they seem to be at a disadvantage, they find a way to come out on top. And if you're a blue team with the clock winding down, I mean, 5 minutes is still a lot of time.
Yeah.
The more time they wait, the worse the clock is for their favor. So they're going to have to organize a push here where they can get a clean team wipe or go 4 for 2. The trades have to start, the numbers have to start stacking in their advantage if they're going to come back in this.
Eli, if you're in this situation, what side would you prefer to push if you're blue? Because at some point they're going to probably have to initiate here.
Ooh, so you're gonna have to do some scouting. You got to see where red team is currently playing defense. You know, send a guy out driveway, just take a look, see what's going on. Take a look at purple. So like, I think that on the purple side, there's more nooks and crannies for red team to hide and go for a cheeky back smack or, you know, a tricky play with a shotgun. So I think that side's a little bit more difficult, but you got to do some recon work. You got to see, okay, which side is their strong side and which side is their weak side? If you can identify which side their weak side is, that's the side to go. Could be either or.
And I guess the difficulty in the chess match of Halo here is the constant fluctuating from side to side, right?
Yes,
it's like, oh,
exactly.
I see 2 players. Next second, there's 3 players over there. There's 1 player, right? So they're constantly kind of flipping their numbers around, trying to find that opening. And I think Savage, you know, we've got him on screen, probably the most important player on the map right now, because he's got the most kill potential and an opportunity for some info here too. Though I feel like I'd like to see blue push up a little bit further, especially with rockets spawning. They're kind of turtled again here.
Right, and turtling is not the way to come back, but they did get the rockets. They used the shroud screen. I don't think the shroud landed exactly where they wanted it to land.
Oh,
they were still able to get the rockets, and they get 4 dead on the side of red, and they've brought the lead within 2, and they have the better position on the map now. If they recognize that all these spawners are in PD and B Street, they could actually surround them, but I don't know if they're moving fast enough to get the pinch here.
Yeah, once again, I think you had the right idea. If we can send our numbers through pink side of the map there, through Cafe, and push hard on the PD spawners, they might have been able to pull away. But once again, I think we've stalemated ourselves here once again. 3 minutes on the clock, so still some time to for some scrappy Halo, but just a 2 kill point advantage to work with here for Witcho and team. Same positioning throughout the game though, right? Like this red team really locking down top map and blue trying to just find an opening here. Interesting.
Witcho, I think it might be the first time he's ever thrown that nade. Yeah,
it might work.
I think he's doing some scientific experiment in the middle of the game here to see if that can work. But Sheeran gets a double kill. He's now 18-9, by the way, having a massive game. Wow. Doesn't matter that his teammates throwing nades at the clouds because he is killing everything anyways. But yeah, I mean, the longer the stalemate goes on, I mean, the clock is starting to look like it's a factor now. 2.5 minutes left. I mean, if you're blue team in this situation, you kind of have to be the one that pushes the situation. New rockets are up in 30, so that might be what they're waiting for here.
Speaking of nades, Plasma is going to be very important for this. So I wonder if Jiren's got a game plan here, or if he's just, I guess he's tossing out his 2 plasmas. No combat involved in play, but here comes the team fight. As things get scrappy, 2 dead, little opening here for red to press the advantage. Moon just trying to stay up, but he's got to get a sightline on rockets, and so far not so good here for blue as they escape down the driveway. Going to get pushed up on here by Hero Brian, not letting them breathe. Big trouble here for blue teams. I think the rockets are incoming. Oh, actually about to spawn.
This game has been a lesson in being proactive versus reactive, because so far this entire game, blue team has just been trying to react and play slow, but it's red team being so proactive, pushing the spawners. I love that play out of them. They basically sealed this game now, because before those rockets come up, they're like, you know, blue team, they're just waiting for rockets. Let's just push them and kill them before the rockets come up. Let's just win the game right here, right now. And that's exactly what they do. Red team, or Los Chingones, I think is their team name. They're gonna advance, and that's gonna be the last that we see of Let Him Cook. This is single elimination, so congrats for Los Chingones winning the series.
Definitely a valiant effort out of LHC, but yeah, good point, right? You've got one opportunity in our single elimination tournament to make things happen, or you're done and dusted. But I like the takeaways on that one, Eli, right? Like just knowing when you're in advantage state and how to push off of your advantages. Like when they had the numbers, there were situations where blue had the opportunity to push out PD spawns and take space and flip the map in their favor. And it just, it seemed like a little bit timid, or a lack of kind of coordination on where specifically they wanted to go when it mattered, because they found themselves kind of in one place, I think, for the majority of that one.
Yeah, absolutely. You gotta see your numbers advantage, and especially in this game where it's so easy to predict spawns, just keep pushing forward, take enough space to force the spawn in one spot, and then kill the spawners when they come back to life. That's what you'll see the best teams in the world do, and I think a lot of these guys could maybe learn from watching some of that. But I mean, still a valiant effort from Let Him Cook. We saw lots of great plays out of them throughout those 2 games, and I think we are going to flip back to a quick break. We're going to get the other match in the lobby, And when we come back, we'll have the next match for you guys. So stay tuned.
Hello, Halo fans. Welcome back to our Odd Spartan Halo 4v4 single elimination tournament. We are finally ready for our next best of 3 matchup. I cannot wait to jump into this. Eli, how you doing, man?
Doing good, man. This has been a fun tournament so far. We've got a fresh 2 new teams here. So whoever advances from this may actually match up against the team we saw win that first round. And we're starting off with one of my favorite game types, Recharge King of the Hill. So let's jump into it.
This is a great one. I've honestly, after our one Metafy session we did together, I feel like I completely changed my approach to this map. So I'll just go ahead and shut you out off that.
Let's go.
But I love this one too, because there's real designated ways to control each kind of quadrant of the map. There's a real game plan for this that you can kind of be flexible around as it takes place. But it's going to be easy for us to kind of dictate the action, I think, just off of that.
Absolutely. So for this first hill, bottom middle, typically the team that holds the C silo part of the map has a better chance of capping the hill. So we'll have to see which teams are going to prioritize that space and give themselves the best chance. But right now there's a fight for camo. We're going to have to see who gets that first camouflage. Looks like it probably went into the suit of blue team.
That opening strat, definitely a brawl. AF Lack, he backs off, though. He's got access to shock. So at the very least, hopefully he can pick up the shock rifle if blue team does walk away with camo. We can see it right in front of him on B. Is going to scare Flack off. Does it lead to a shock pickup, too, though? I think it might have been grabbed. He'll find his way in Turbine instead in a 2v1 there. And that brawl, he's still going to continue. In the meantime, Pastor looks like he finds himself a kill bottom mid. Staying up stack, staying up C-plat. So important for this hill, right, Eli?
Absolutely. If you want to spawn the other team in A, you have to be deep into the C silo area to block all the spawn points on that side. Ideally, you could also have a player top gold, and that's going to also further influence the spawns to the A side of the map. And if they're spawning A, they have to walk out of these tiny doorways to approach the hill, so it's very easy to defend and basically watch those doorways as soon as they come out. Right now, it looks like red team kind of winning this fight, but there's a huge fight bottom middle, and neither team is really staying at C silo, so we're kind of seeing all types of different spawns during this.
What a battle there with Pastro, though. That's definitely M&K. Just looking at that POV, the way he's swinging around that reticle, finds a nice exchange there. Bottom mid, too, as things get to a brawl. But yeah, like you said, a little bit chaotic here in bottom mid. A-side spawns here, I think, for blue team still, but we'd like to see somebody maybe back up on red, start to anchor C, and make sure that, yeah, they have some guaranteed spawners and access to this hill as this fight does continue. Definitely getting scrappy here off the first hill.
So far, both teams, I think, are just kind of more focused on the hill than anything else.
Yeah.
Any placement around the map. Turns out that red team was leaning slightly towards C, so they are the ones that get this spawn point. Camo is still available, still on the map. We'll have to see if they recognize that it's on the floor there. I don't know, or perhaps it did get burned. I'm not sure. But right now, red team very close to capping this hill, and it's going to move to long haul if they can get it here.
Just flying out blue last second, hoping to save it, but they won't there. Red team, they will come out with the first hill. Maybe an opportunity to get started on the second. They'll try to rotate over. It looks like actually blue going to flip the map there for a second, get access to the hill, and hopefully the nearby spawns here too. Savage locking things down from B box can be a tricky place to play, but if you shoot accurately like he did, they're keeping him back in A.
Yeah, this is exactly where you want the other team to spawn, is in A. You want to trap them here. It's very hard to get out of here and make your way to the hill. So I actually like that red team is choosing to rotate out through the battery side here. What the mistake that I see a lot of players make is to just funnel all the way through the control tower repeatedly, and that usually doesn't work out. So this is a great rotation from red team, and it looks like it's going to pay off.
Just got to battle their way through silo here. That back silo positioning so powerful for this hill. Nice little 1v1 with Fox as he tries to make his way there. Still collecting time, though. Nice risky position. He's making it work. He's got his teammates sitting on stacks, one on C stairs to try to delay and pick up some sightlines for him. Fox in a troublesome situation here, though. Lunacy and Joby One Kenobi, they'll come together and find the collapse and get access to C. So once again, here's a little opportunity for blue. Back silo, maybe an extension out to goal. We're starting to see that now.
Yeah, I actually love what I'm seeing out of Fox so far. Seems like the ultimate team player. 10 assists already. Feels like the game just started. And you could see that he was definitely prioritizing hill time above anything else, finding that sneaky spot to get lots of extra time. But like you said, blue team able to break it. Also getting control of gold here, just controlling both sides of the hill, so important during this one especially. And they also get the camo grab. That player is going to disappear off of the red team's screen, and I'd like to see that player maybe extend away from the hill and get a cheeky kill, but staying in the hill is also not so bad with it either.
As long as he stays alive. That's what's most important. Unfortunately, goes down with his stick there, and access for red team to get to the hill here. Just one teammate anchoring it over in long haul. Fox in the meantime. A little advantageous fight for him on Mangler. He'll reposition top A. He can find a flank here with some good timing. Might be able to pinch the other team.
Enemy team took the hill.
So important that he comes and engages right here. If he can flank on the backside while his teammates attack the front side, this is going to be a great play. Looks like they do take a few down, but also lose some members in the process. Fox going to back up here, recognizes not safe to get hill time right now, and wait for his shields and re-engage in this fight.
Yeah, but that situation right there, spotting his teammates spawning out in pipes, that's so important to note that the A side spawn is open, that push through control is coming in. He had to be very quick to act there. He either needs to ape, essentially, take the 1v1 in long haul, win that fight to secure some safe haven, get away from control, or maybe even back up to back silo and take a very tricky, solo fight to play for defense. But the biggest thing is just noting where your teammates spawning and then making a decision on how you play that life based off of it.
No, you're absolutely right. I don't know if they were able to predict that push was coming in from silo quite fast enough, but props to blue team. They not only secure that point, but they're also into the next point right away. We've got some plasma grenades here as well. Should be using these in the doorways. Pushed, and so far already more than half the hill, and it just moved. So great efficiency from blue team.
Such a tricky hill to break too. Red gonna have to push together to make sure they come away with this. And here comes the collapse. 3 dead, the 4th one up. Raider, nice clutch, last second pip, looking for 2. Finds it, makes it a double, and honestly some great mileage out of his life in that situation to make things tricky for Red.
Yeah, honestly needed that play in that moment to get his team back into this hill, but it's blue team getting away with the most recent camouflage. Neither team really prioritizing the shock rifle from what I've seen so far. Curious to see if one of those teams can get control of it, maybe the green gun as well, to use it to break into this hill. But blue team has control of it once again, and they've got great positioning on glass to make it difficult for red team to even get in. They're going to get the point because of it.
What a brutal situation for Pastro. Turns around, he's getting lit up by 2 players. He would have had to push A, if anything, but just rocking a hard place, right? Tricky situation, and a 2-1 advantage here for blue as they rotate to the next hill. I think I saw the shock in the feed there popping up a little bit, so blue starting to take control of artillery. Some slays here too as Lunacy hits 25 and 12, by the way. We got to check out his POV.
Yeah, this guy is clearly taking over the game. Certainly why his team is come back after losing that first point. They've got the next 2, and they have control of the 3rd here. Like the way that he's playing a bit away from the hill. He's going to force the spawners on the other team to spawn a bit further away. Recognizing his hill player needs some help, drops back down to do more damage. This guy is just being a menace on all parts of the map.
Wow, nice snap there too. Cleans up the kill. Repulse and nade out of the hill just to get some damage off of him. Pastro going to finally find some blood here, and maybe an opportunity for Red to push through. What a 1v1 though in long as Raider comes out on top of it. Moments like that are so massive because look at the opportunity it creates for Raider. Little pinch here on Pastro, deleted with perfect shots, almost finds the second, and scrappy blows here back and forth as Red try to get some sort of control.
Yeah, red team has been fighting an uphill battle ever since the very first hill. Seems like blue team just able to get the slays when it matters, and the push from red team has never been that strong ever since. They're gonna have to slow down, maybe wait for some numbers before they approach this next hill. They still got 2 minutes on the clock, which is not doable, but the clock's certainly favoring blue team in this moment.
Definitely tricky, especially with the camo on board here. Don't tell me he lives. He almost does. That trade will go out though thanks to red. They'll delete him, and controlling this hill, kind of a tricky one. They're going to have to make sure they've got A side blocks, so they do have some A coverage, but Lunacy's still putting on the pressure here.
You make a great point that holding the elevator spawns in this hill is so important. If you're in the hill, you're actually not close enough to block the elevator spawn, so you usually want to send a player elevator first and then have a player second. But with the clock, with only a minute and a half, I mean, blue team can choose to just play gatekeeper. They can just keep red team out of the hill for the rest of the time, because the next hill after this goes back to bottom mid. two hardest hills to cap are back to back, and when you have a 2 hill advantage, you can use that to win the game.
Same kind of tricky situation I see with Solitude as well is once the timer starts bleeding, you know that top mid is going to be the last hill. There's just no chance, right? How are you going to play top mid? How are you going to play bottom mid on recharge? So like you said, they can burn out the timer, or I guess, you know, Lunacy can get 31 kills. He can collect the hill as well, whatever he wants at this point. The man is just getting away with it.
Really is. He's been a huge factor as to why his team has such a major lead here. Now a minute on the clock. Now that red team steps in the hill, the clock is going to stop. So they're going to want to hold this as long as possible without losing this hill player if they're going to come back and win the next 2 hills to potentially tie it up. And if blue team can just get him out of the hill right now and keep him out of the hill, they could close the game. But huge shots out of Pastro to keep this one alive.
Such a tricky spot to play because you're vulnerable to nades. You have no real movement options but to like jump repeatedly in the needler. Here's a nice 1v1 though, and he almost takes it. It's nice to see a little bit of M&K there in those 1v1s and you know how those players kind of lock out shots. Even on M&K, when you jump in that gunfight, it is very, very tricky to come out on top.
100%. I think the M&K players, as they get used to the bandit rifle, are going to maybe eat a little better than they had when they had battle. But certainly an adjustment for everyone regardless. And out of ammo here, he's going to force to be used. He's forced to use the sidekick, but puts it to great use right away. Find some ammo on the ground so now he can use the bandit once again. But honestly, if I was him, I'd probably stick to that sidekick for a little while.
I was going to say, not a bad situation to have a sidekick. Close quarters, just go full John Wick or find yourself dead to rights in a 4-1 close. Nice confident victory at a blue there. We saw, I think, a lot better coverage from the team on several of these hills. And I think more importantly, shot control, especially at the midpoint in the game. I think it was Joby1 Kenobi had the shock popping up in the feed there, getting some important kills.
Yeah, huge plays out of Lunacy to secure that dub. After that first hill, it was all blue for the rest of that game. So props to them for bringing it together. It's important to keep your cool. Even if you lose 1 point early, it's definitely not the team showing that throughout. So I believe we're going to go to a Solitude Slayer next. And I'm excited to see this one. We haven't seen a ton of Solitude yet. And now that the camo is top mid, I feel like it does play quite a bit differently. Now there's a lot more outplay ability when it comes to playing for camo. We're going to actually see a lot more presence top mid, whereas the Quantum Translocator before, when it was there, it's like we don't really have a great reason to push for it, but we're going to see people fight a lot harder now for camo.
I think it'll completely change the map, honestly. Like, I'm looking forward to seeing it in proper HCS play as well. Just the freedom that you have with camo to make big plays, to push up on spawns, or maybe break a mid-map setup. Like, something we've seen consistently is just controlling mid-map with the sniper, you know, S4 with snipe, let's say. Teammates trying to lock down spawns either in cafe or tram side of the map and just keep them out. I think with the camo, you know, whoever owns it can roam, can do so much more on the map to flip the script, the momentum and things. So we'll definitely see a brawl for it, I think, off the opening strat.
I think you're absolutely right. And the sniper going to also be quite important. The team that gets the sniper control early, if you can control that side of the map, you can also control the spawns on the opposite side. If you can get a few headshots, that can be an easy way to mount an early lead. And I've seen some games kind of get out of control on this map in Slayer. I think that big leads can happen, but it's also easy for it to flip the other way. So it's possible to go on big streaks one way or the other, and we'll see if one of these teams can ride that momentum to the end.
And I think similarly with other maps, just your efficiency collapsing on spawns, but especially so with Solitude in the way that the spawns are kind of designed with the map geometry, right? Like, let's say you're spawning in cafe, you've got somebody sitting up high ground above them on cafe window. Or if you're spawning in yard, you're sitting on gold ledge, shooting them down in yard. You're in tram, you're sitting on glass, shooting them from glass, right? So it's like, regardless of where these players are spawning, they're always kind of in a low position on the map. I think especially with lift, if you're coming up the lift and vulnerable to nades. So it can really be tough to break out of a situation if the team is, you know, well coordinated and they're really taking advantage of these spawn opportunities.
100%. Very easy to control spawns on this. I tell people, if you want to get better at Solitude, just look at where your teammates are and form an L shape around. Because if you control 75% of the map, it doesn't even matter which 75% it is. Right. As long as you know that they're spawning in that other quadrant of the map, it's going to be a lot easier to play every engagement. So we'll see which teams kind of have the better formation throughout. You also just don't want to have everybody bottom mid. You don't want to have everybody top mid. You want to have a nice mix of high and low ground so that there's not many escape routes for the opponents.
complementary sight lines. Let's see it, Eli,
Yes.
as we push up off the rip here. We got Camo Snipe to work for, and Savage, he wants a piece of a little bit of both. Let's see what he can get here for the Camo. Oh, both the nades not quite working out as intended. Maybe the Camo will. Oh, doesn't quite slip around the wall. At the very least, he gets the burn, so it's out of play, but the Snipe, they got that, though.
Yeah, huge to get the sniper early. It's the most powerful weapon on this map. I mean, you're going to plasma pistol, but it doesn't really get a lot. As far as equipment, though, we do have a thruster and a repulse, both very important to control on this map as well. We'll see if those can convert into some extra kills. Also, we got the plasma grenades reintroduced on this map. They were off the map for a while due to a glitch with the lift, but now there's actually 2 sets of plasma grenades that are on this map now, which I think are the best grenades in the game right now. They're so powerful. You can do the insta-splode. You can trade a stick when you die. So I think it's not talked about enough, but low-key, the plasma grenade's one of the more important things to control on the map.
A huge deal, yeah, especially the combat evolve strategies that I guarantee we'll see from both sides of the map, whether you're on Glass or in Cafe. And something that would happen in Plaza back in Halo 5 is just launching the sniper, or at least just launching it away from its spawn point. You know, whether or not you're succeeding in getting it back to yourself, if you can just keep it away from the enemy team or make it tricky to find for the enemy team, that can be a big deal when it matters most. So we'll see what they can put together. Or just try to stay alive, right? In a tricky situation here for Dave.
Yeah, Dave kind of in the middle of everything. He's going to try to escape to the snipe tower, but nowhere he goes is really going to be safe from here. Looks like he does have a teammate now, though, so that could bail him out. Great shots out of Joby, though, to take him down.
Gotta love seeing people miss now. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
yeah.
I think I'm so used to the BR gunfights where, you know, everybody just is a laser beam with the BR. With the Bandit, I'm seeing just a lot of variance in, 5 shots or just like 3 bullets back to back, 3 misses, from one player to another. It definitely humbles you and also builds the ego, I think, at the same time to either pop off or get your butt kicked with this thing.
You're exactly right. I mean, some days I feel like I'm a literal. And then the very next game I play, I'm missing. I get the first 4 shots and then miss like 7 in a row. Just can't hit that headshot. So this definitely requires a lot more focus. If I'm not fully focused in every single fight, I'm not going to get that 5 shot. So it does require a lot more brain power to succeed with this gun.
I feel like one of the biggest things that I'm learning is just intentionality, like maintaining a state of intentionality where every single shot that you're doing is something that you're cognizant of, you meant to do, because it's that you're going through that process of hand-eye coordination and kind of centering yourself, if that makes sense, before the shot comes out. At any moment, if you're just kind of shooting habitually and there's no intention behind it, that's when I find the misses and the mistakes start to happen. So it's kind of locking yourself in this proactive state, and that's what I'm hoping Blue Team puts together here, because they've got a bit of a spawn setup, I think.
Now, you make a great point. I think that's exactly the difference between the BR and the Bandit. Is with the BR, you could almost slip into autopilot with it, because the tracking, the aim assist that just pulls you back into it. If you just hit like one solid burst, you're dealing significant damage. But with the Bandit, higher TTK, if the other guy's hitting his shots and you're not, then you're gonna have a bad time. So but yeah, so far Blue Team with an early lead. This is what I said, it's easy to run away with it on this map, but are they going to be able to control the spawns as well? The positioning here might force the spawns of red into the blue area if they push too far out, but looks like Lunacy able to maintain his position in Cafe to keep the spawns on this side. So important to be very careful and mindful of just how far you push into the other side before you flip the spawns. And it looks like they did start flipping toward blue here. Actually, no, they've kept him trapped in here the whole time. Now the spawns are actually flipping to the snipe side now that they've left that side of the map.
Right, likely sniper. And kind of a good thing that he full commits to avoid those sight lines as long as he stays alive and the full team works together on the collapse. So nicely done. That'll light him up. 26 now as they do just that, right? They light up the red team here. Everybody spawning red or snipe and dying snipe as well. Make it a double as Savage walks away with 2, looking for a third. Almost finds it.
Wow, so important that they get these kills right here if you're on the side of red. Starting to look pretty bad. Was an 11-point lead, now cut down to 8. But both teams fighting pretty close together here in the mid game. Red team down by so much, they're going to have to kind of work together, coordinate this push, and get some clean dead. But their positioning is not great here. They're stuck at the bottom of the map, and they're weak. Looks like the positioning from blue team is just too strong. They have the complementary sight lines. They got a crossfire from both snipe and dip at the same time. And the players on red team have nowhere to go.
Yeah, these bottom mid fights are tough, man. You don't want to spend too much time down here if you can avoid it. You got to be really slippery if you're on the bottom of the map. You got a lot of rocks and you know, different ledges to work off of if you want to slide around. But it's a transitionary area of the map, and I think we're seeing that out of blue as they get out of it. They get the kills. They've spawned them over in Tram, and here comes the attack.
Sightlines are just not there for the side of red team. And this, look at this flank from Lunacy. This player's been impressing me since the series began. He seems to just have good awareness of his windows of opportunity. There's only so much time you have to get around opponents to catch them off guard. He's also very keenly aware of the attention that his teammates are holding, so he's able to find a lot of players that are just simply not looking at him. That's why he's able to put up big stat numbers, keeping a clean eye on what his teammates are doing. Also, look at this aggression, this confidence. He sees there's 2 players in here, but he doesn't care. He's going to keep pushing, does disengage once he gets weak, but these are the signs of a player that knows his limits very well.
I like how he's juggling the equipment here, too. He just swapped out the thrust for the repulse. As he gets aggressive here, might be using the repulse in close quarters just to keep him off of him. He even needs it. The moves here out of Lunacy. He's ducking and dodging, almost finding a second, but goes down with a killing spree. And at this point, the damage is done. Make it 43 and counting as Obi-Wan Kenobi just, or Joby-Wan Kenobi, I guess, added insult to injury here with 43.
Yeah, I love this player's tag. I hope his real name is Joby. It's a Joby-Wan Kenobi. Such a clever tag. And he's hitting some nice shots. I think we've seen him hit some good snipe shots throughout this game already.
Here we go.
Has the communication with Savage take down that player there. And now it's red team. They've just been stuck in the yard this whole time. I mean, it doesn't feel like they've had many opportunities to get out.
Generally what we do see is that inside map control is the name of the game, right? Not only the sniper, but just the sight lines that you get in center map here as the players are kind of forced to rotate between cafe, yard, and tram. It's just not a good situation to be in. The moment he hits this shot, Fox is in trouble. You can see he wants a piece of it. He does back him off, but what do you do at this point? I mean, 46 to 27, you just got to delay the inevitable.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely not looking great for red team. I think that was at the game. Joby now 16-5 right now, putting up a huge game. And they just need one more, and that's going to be a steak-tacular to close it out. Great stuff out of blue team.
Excellent work out of blue as they do find the finish in that game with a comfortable 2-0 for the series. Light it up, doing what their name says. They're lighting up the series, and I wonder where that puts them in contention with the red team as well. That should be interesting. But sorry, the first series team.
Right, yeah. Out of those 2 teams, so the first team that we watched, Los Chingones, and this team, both looking very strong. I think that it's going to be a good matchup when they do inevitably find each other in the bracket. But GG's to the side of blue team. They're going to go ahead and advance. So we're actually going to take another quick break, get the next match set up for you, and we'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with our Odd Spartan Ghouls and Ghosts Halo 4v4 tournament. We are back with Team Lighted Up as they go up against the Atom Mercenaries. And I'm back with Eli as well. Eli, we got Recharge again, this time Strongholds.
Yeah, this is going to be a faster paced game than I think some of the others that we've seen so far. This game type, in my opinion, can be played a lot of different ways. Some teams like to play for all 3 zones. Some teams like to play for A and C and just leave B open. But I think the strongest setup is actually A and B, and then just force the other team to spawn C and kind of hold those sight lines, watch the crosses for each other. But at the very beginning here, let's see which team gets the early camouflage. That's usually going to lead to an early setup.
This is both one of my favorite and least favorite map game type combos, Eli, because I feel like it's so exciting when things are getting going, but it also almost always goes down to the wire and has some of the biggest upset potential I find out of any map, just because of the way that you can kind of consistently hold a setup and control. And interesting opening strat, by the way, all 4 pushing out through C and pushing a little slow at that. I think they got caught with their pants down, a flank and a pinch into C from our red team, and probably a camo pickup off that rip there.
Yeah, don't think I agree with the opening strat here. I mean, you're going to need to spread out a little bit. You're going to want to have different sight lines, and I mean, just once. Wow, look at the strafe. Both players seemingly in tandem with each other. Yeah, it looked like 3-4-3 Spartan bots with perfect strafe movement there. But it ends up working out for blue team to get A at the very least. But they're going to have to spread out if they want to start actually scoring some points here.
Definitely under a lot of pressure off the rip. That's for sure. I see that Inist, I think, has managed to secure at least 3 kills off the opening to kind of even out the numbers here. But like we said, map control, stronghold control, name of the game. And so far, we're looking at trip cap potential and a full 4 dead here for blue team.
This is massive. Red team with the trip cap. Now, if you have the trip cap in this mode, you get 2 points per second. Now that there's a player contesting B, they're only going to get 1 point per second. If they can get this player out of B, they're going to keep that trip cap, which they do. And now if I'm red team in this situation, I'm just going to say, let's just let them have C. Let's just control and hold A and B. And it looks like that's exactly what they're doing here.
Assuming they kill off these stragglers first. Joby just looking for a head. He's got a couple targets to deal with. Still cleaning them up. Back batteries regardless. That's 3 dead. Make it 4 as the whole team drops again. And probably the last thing you want if you're blue team in this situation is to go 4 dead at the same time. And you can see how much easier it makes things for our red team in the spawn collapse. Interesting push though, right? They push so heavy, so quickly. They split them in 2-2s, but it doesn't seem to hurt them too badly. My God, this is rough for blue.
Yeah, the push from Lunacy there, forcing a split spawn situation where players spawn on both C and A, but it looked like they were ready for it. It looked like they were able to respond to both sides. C does end up converting over to blue, but it's still red team scoring while they have control of A and B.
It's got to be a brutal situation for blue here. Eli, how would you imagine breaking out of a situation like this when you're just under constant pressure?
It takes a lot of coordination, really. I think that you want to send 1 or 2 players through long haul at the same time you send players into the control tower. You want to ultimately get to a position where you can hit both gold and tower or A at the same time from multiple angles, kind of spread the other team thin with how they have to send their resources. But if one person goes too early and dies, the push is just not as powerful on the other side. And so far, every step of the way, that's kind of what's been the issue for blue team.
Yeah, definitely easier said than done. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I think step 1 is we got to see these guys get some trades, though. They got to clean up a couple kills, get some space on the map to even do anything as they go 3 dead again. Joby 1, Kenobi does connect with a face this time. And the last player, Inst, I'm having trouble reading, is he's sitting down bottom silo. And it looks like he does finally get cleaned up. Long haul spawns here for blue again as they try to stave the bleeding, but 167 and counting to 0. This is really a do or die situation for our blue team.
Yeah, I mean, a grand total of 6 kills on the side of blue team. Meanwhile, we've got over 30 on the side of red. I mean, this has been a rough go for blue team, but the cheeky assassination there. Oh, that's still on the side of red team. So, I mean, It seems like no matter what blue try to go for, red team's just ready for it. They're just rotating and getting control. Light them up, really showing their proficiency on recharge.
I think we need to see a full 4-man push down 1 lane. You know, down long haul. Just do it. Just run it down gold or something. I don't know. Camo spawn in here. Savage with free reign to collect it. Nobody's shooting them. He's full shields. Still dying here on blue as we hit 211 and counting. Got a player spawning up on top attic alone and a victim to the Needler. What can this man do?
Wow, he's got
situation. He chows it. Yeah, he chows it out in the open.
Yeah, it's just red team just has all the angles. I mean, there's nowhere blue team can go. At this point, if you're red team, you're disappointed if you don't get the 250-0. This is what we're barreling towards here. Only 10 more seconds, and they're going to have to cap 2 zones in the next 10 seconds to get any points on the board. I don't think it's going to happen.
Damn. There's levels to this, Eli. There is levels to this. If you don't have this level of coordination, then good luck getting any points, apparently. You know, Halo Infinite can be quite savage.
Absolutely. And wow, that was a textbook way to play recharge strongholds. We talked about the different possible setups, but red team said, you know what, let's just get all of the setups. Let's just hold a trip cap as much as we can. It seemed like even in any situation that blue team got one of the zones, red team was able to just protect the other 2 anyways, and then convert the one that was stolen. And no matter how the configuration was set up, it was light them up, able to maintain control throughout. The Slays also heavily in their favor. Moving into Aquarius Team Slayer for game number 2. That's going to be Pretty difficult, I think, for blue team if it looks anything like that first game.
Sounds about right, Eli. And definitely credit, I think, to Light 'em Up for just their ability to patiently navigate situations like that. And I think you said it well, just noticing the situation where your teammate is pushing up on spawn and creating a split and then reacting to that accordingly. And I think we saw that from whoever's POV it was on B batteries at the time. He saw the push into C plat and then turned his attention to A. He knew A was open. He got the collapse from the A spawners. You got to be so quick and so ready for something like that. I think especially in Slayer and especially on a map like Aquarius where team spawning is so prevalent, right? Is it team spawn that I'm looking for? What's the word?
Squad spawn.
Squad spawning. That's right. Is so prevalent, right? Like if you're not very considerate, the push and the pinch on both sides of the base, then expect a squad spawn in the nearby perimeter, and you just got to be ready to kind of control that.
Right, and if Adam Mercenaries want to come back into this, they're gonna have to control the items on the map. I mean, this map a bit smaller, more traditional arena style map that we're used to seeing in Halo games in the past. But as far as the weapons, I mean, we've got a heat wave, we've got 2 thrusters, which I think are the most important parts of the map. And if they get stuck in a spawn cycle and they let Light 'em Up have all these tools of destruction, they're gonna get destroyed. So I'd like to see them look to control not only the items but also a bit more space going into game 2.
No camo this time, at the very least. We are still keeping with the QT on top mid, so maybe a little bit less, firepower without that camo, I think. But yeah, I think definitely blue team has, their work cut out for them. They've got a lot of work to do off this opening strat. I'm hoping we see some thrust control out of blue, and if they get a confident opening, if they win the opening strat, then who knows kind of where this could go. With hopeful thinking.
Yeah, absolutely. So. Opening strat going to be very interesting to see. We saw Adam Mercenaries kind of all going the same direction off the start of Recharge. I think doing that on this map could be maybe a little better than Recharge, like if they sent all their power through car side, but in general, you don't want to really do that. You want to have at least one person getting eyes and angles on the opposite side if you're going to want to get any kind of map positioning here.
For my personal strat, I love pushing straight out through the front, collecting the thrust if possible, and if we do so, then you can definitely make some big plays through center map here. In the meantime, we got Hepsion just trying to live in util under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, already facing early pressure from red team. I like that they're actually kind of working together to bait these doorways, but they're not watching all the doorways, and a member of Light 'em Up does sneak on through.
This is looking brutal so far. It's a 4-0 here. Hepsion getting shot in the back right off of his opening strat. You can see, or off his spawn, and he's going back into blue, right? So they're just putting themselves into situations where they're going to get pinched from both angles, not able to find any sort of return fire as well. I think we might need to stay on board with red POV and just watch the massacre from their perspective, because it doesn't look good.
Yeah, keep in mind, the blue team here did get a bye to this round, so Light 'em Up already warmed up, played against some other opponents, and it looks like blue team maybe not quite ready for this level of aggression that they're encountering here. Like we said, Light 'em Up has the heat wave, they've got thrust packs, they've got a lot of different tools that's going to make this incredibly difficult to get out of.
Oh, well, at least we find a nice trade here, a little help from the team, thanks to East once again. To try to stay alive. We got bridge side spawns here for yellow, and maybe a chance for another kill. Big pickup, perfect shots as he tries to will his team back into this. But 14-3 at this point, as you can see that heavy pressure out of Light It Up as they generally move together, kind of rolling in a wolf pack here.
Can even see it on the assist column. I mean, they've already got almost 10 assists out of the 14 that they have. I mean, that's a lot of team shooting going down here. And that's what you're gonna have to do if you're blue team to come back. You gotta. It just feels like the firepower is stronger on the side of Light 'em Up, and the Adam Mercenaries unable to kind of keep up with that level of teamwork. They're not getting enough angles to keep up, but in the mid game here, staying alive a bit longer than I'd expect them to.
I think just looking at some of these POVs, we saw Hepsion earlier, is just understanding priority sight lines, where to put your reticle, before these fights is so important. You want to be prepared for every single interaction, and I feel like I'm seeing a lot of looking around here. If we can just get head level placement and readiness for a couple of these gunfights, we could turn around some trades and maybe some opportunities here for blue.
You make a good point. Reticle placement so important in Halo. If you are actively keeping your imagination open and you're imagining where you should expect to find an enemy in the next engagement, and you just place your reticle in a spot that's ready for them to turn that corner, you're going to get first shot more often. And if you get first shot more often, you're going to win more fights because I mean it's a pretty fast TTK. If both players hit all their shots, it's the player who shot first that wins. So definitely important thing to notice here. And I think probably a big reason why we see Light 'em Up with such a huge lead is their reticle placement has been just better. They're also predicting where these enemies are coming from, and they seem to have a better awareness of where to expect spawns as well.
The snowball definitely helps here. You can see that from Obi-Wan Kenobi, like he's pre-nading fridge spawn just in case somebody's there. He's finding one P2. Going to find East again on yellow util. As he backs off, he's in trouble. He might get a squad spawn with teammates on car side, and I think Joby aware of that. Here comes the push into car, and it's a two-pronged, make it three-pronged attack right from multiple sides with a pinch, and that's kind of how you play good Halo in this situation, and hopefully a good learning opportunity, I think, for blue.
Right. I mean, it doesn't feel good to be down this much as we see Joby with the killing frenzy popping off. Another double kill as well. I mean, just look at the way these guys are flowing around the map together. They're never really in 1v1 engagements. The few times that they are, they're seemingly winning them. But I mean, for the most part, they don't have to win 1v1s. They're just flowing around the map together. They're locating enemies at the same time, shooting them from different vantage points. I mean, this is what good Halo looks like. So if you're a blue team, it doesn't feel good to lose like this. But I think at the end of the day, you can go back and watch these games and see like, okay, what are they doing right to make it so easy for them to beat us, and maybe try to replicate that in their future games.
Really great point. And this is what I love and hate about Aquarius, I think, because I think when you're flowing with your team and you have momentum like this, it's one of the most fun maps to play because it's just a flowy map. Like the way that you navigate it is smooth and satisfying. You got the thrust to kind of help with that. If you're on the receiving end of it, though, it's one of the worst, most chaotic, difficult maps to control because you're getting shot immediately off of spawn. You don't have a lot of options. You're just getting pinched, and we're seeing that now. I mean, 42-9 is definitely a clinic, and it's got to be for blue. But like you said, you can look back at it after.
Joby might be getting a perfection here. He's 16-0, has yet to die. Can he pull it off? It's not often that you get a perfection on a live streamed game. So if you can pull it off,
walking too. He's got all the.
This is, by the way, this looks sus to the viewers, but this is just an observer glitch. He's not actually sprinting backwards. But
you don't
yeah,
have that tech? You're not aware of this movement tech? This is a new thing.
It's definitely a funny thing to watch from the observer POV, but you probably switch off of him now to see a more normal POV here. There we go. So Lunacy screen looks a little bit more realistic, and Joby, they only need one kill and he's going to secure the perfection.
17-0 currently, final kill to close it. Last ditch effort out of blue as they do find themselves a trade, but he gets it. 18-0. If there was a medal beyond perfection, he's sorting for it. That's for sure.
Also 7 assists to his name as well, so it's not like he's just hoarding all the kills. He's outputting damage for the rest of his teams to get kills as well. And wow, Light 'em Up putting on a show there. They really did light them up. If I'm being honest, that was a rough go for the mercenaries, but maybe they can go back to the drawing board and come back for the next one of these that Odd Spartan puts on. Sounds like he might have plans to do more, so be on the lookout. If you guys don't follow the channel already, definitely follow the Odd Spartan. There could be more of these and more chances to sign up. A lot of money on the line here, so.
Yeah, big thank you to Odd Spartan and Elephant Money. Having opportunities like this in Halo, I think, is second to none. It's massive, Eli. So this is just the beginning, right? I think if we do more events like this and more people recognize it, we could have some pretty high stakes Halo. And I know there are a lot of very high caliber players who would love an opportunity like this. So definitely time to hit the grind for our blue team and do it fast because the competition's only going to get steeper. And I think Light It Up is showing us that.
Absolutely. So this does bring us to our grand finals. So Light 'em Up punching their tickets to the finals. We saw earlier in the stream Los Chingones, they are also in the finals waiting. So we're actually just going to go to a quick break. When we come back, we'll have the finals for you. It shouldn't be too long for this one. Both teams should be ready to go. So we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
All right, Halo fans, we're back one more time with our Odd Spartan Halo 4v4 Tournament Grand Finals. This is it. It's a best-of-3 series, do or die with $1 grand on the line. And Eli, I would not want to be here with anybody else to cast it.
Hey, man, glad to be here with you as well. This is going to be super exciting. This game type right here, man, we got so many sniper rifles to play for. We got a rocket launcher. There's a wave, plasma pistol, overshield. I mean, there's so many weapons. Now that there's bandit starts, we've also got the BR spawning at the, we call it BR anyway, so now it's finally actually a BR.
Real now, yeah.
And I think it's going to actually get some use in these bandit start games because there's some long range engagements and the BR is just frankly better in some situations. But early break here, Jiren gets the rocket, burns both, somehow doesn't get a kill with either. And now I'm curious to see who got the sniper rifle on either side. Looks like Joby, who just fresh off of a perfection in the last round, starting off with the sniper, and this could be an early flag run for red team.
Rough situation for blue, right? They burned the rockets, paid the price. We saw a perfect collapse out of Light It Up, and it's only going to continue. Make it a blainer from Joby as they drop to 4 dead one more time. That flag is moving tower side, and it's in the clear. I think it's done and dusted here for flag 1.
Wow, Light 'em Up came to play. These guys are here to win the $1,000 prize pool that's on the line. It looks like that member of blue team did sneak through behind Joby, but I don't know if it matters. His teammate might have been able to spot him out, but if they're going to get this flag, they got to take down Joby first, which they do, and they're actually in the base. This is not looking too bad for blue team right now.
Definitely putting on the pressure here. Jiren kind of juggling 2 fights, though. Tricky spot to be in. Going to try to live up. Oh, the coverage does not quite help him out. He's got Rabinos behind him, trying to keep him in play, but as he loses his teammates here, their ability to push the base kind of dies out too. So I'm wondering if this man should maybe play a little passive just to keep the line in check here.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely shouldn't die here, is I think what you're thinking, because it's going to just definitely end this push, which that looks like to be the case. And yeah, Los Chingones still kind of pushing here. I mean, in a way, it's good because it's going to keep red team in their base maybe a little bit longer, but you have to wonder, you know, you're probably going to need all 4 members of your team alive if you're going to make a good push that could lead to an actual flag cap. So good for Witcho to stay alive here. His teammates have respawned, but Lunacy picking up a kill. It's going to slow him down just a little bit here.
Oh, here we go. Man, putting the engines on for this one. 3 dead, by the way, back to back. So an opportunity for Witcho to pick up this flag, get it through tower. Oh, no, he changed his mind.
Okay.
Moments like this are pivotal. You got to be so careful about how you run this flag. And you know what? I like the decision to go back to where his teammates are, but now he's in big trouble. Taking that one right out into the sight line, and things are about to get scrappy.
Yeah, if you're Witcho in that situation, sometimes it's better just throw the flag into the open, get your shields back, look to get a kill or 2, and then go back to the flag run. You don't need to just run it all the way from one end of the map to the other. You can drop it, get some kills along the way, and due to that, maybe a little bit of desperation to get that flag to long haul, red team or Light 'em Up going to take advantage of it. They get a 4 dead, and now they have a flag out of their own. This could be a counter cap opportunity.
We'll see if they can get away with it. Still a tussle for it, though. Flag picked up. I like the decision from Raider. He's going to take it a little bit more to safety here with the wall to give him some coverage. But he's in trouble, man, getting tagged up from multiple sides. We got an overextension from Blue as they look to get the return here. I think they're going to succeed with it. This is one of those moments where I feel like the Bandit really comes into play. Like, yes, the team shot is very powerful, but just your ability to delete one player from far off of spawn like this definitely gimped, I think, a little bit here.
Yeah, absolutely. And it also increases the value of the sniper rifles as we see Lunacy popping off because he's not facing pressure from BR bursts from downrange. And I mean, if the snipes are hitting on the side of Light 'em Up, this is going to be very difficult for Chingones to come back in this.
Hero definitely putting it together. Deletes one with a perfect series of shots. Can't quite make the snipe land. I like the attempt, though, right? Just careful use of the cover there with the peek to try to give himself an opportunity, but really just to play some defense in the situation. Red definitely putting the hurt on. I think it's Lunacy who's leading the charge here.
Yeah, Lunacy 10 and 4. Seen his name light up in the kill feed. Lots of snipers so far. We're at the 8-minute mark in the game. So no weapons are currently spawning right now. This is mostly just BRs and all the tier 2 weapons on the map. It looks like Jiren does find himself a sniper rifle. Probably can't have too much ammo left though, because this is the sniper from the 9-minute mark. And right now it's really just been light them up, kind of keeping the pressure on Chingones, keeping them in their base. But as I say that, looks like an opening was found by Los Chingones. They're going to have to find a kill or two on the way in though if they're going to survive this push.
Uh-oh. I mean, I think you said it perfectly. That's a triple, I believe, out of Joby as he finds 3 back-to-back. Hero does find a trade, but at this point, it's going to be pressure from Red once again. Right off a spawn here, Witcho, he's going to be looking for a kill. Rockets and OS about to spawn here as well, so they really got to get some presence on the map and start to contest these power weapons.
So important on this map when you get kills to get to the other team's side of the map, because it doesn't matter which side you get to, as long as you reach that back wall, you're going to force the spawns into a very specific spot, which is going to make the next play easier to predict and handle. If you don't get to the other team's side before they respawn, the game is going to naturally give them a spread across their base, which is harder to push into afterwards. So if blue team is going to come back into this, when they get kills, they're going to have to be a bit more aggressive, keep pressing that advantage. But so far, Light 'em Up has not made it very easy.
They definitely haven't, but I think thankfully for them, they managed to kind of break out of that situation, find themselves back at the 50-yard line, and maybe an opportunity here for blue. You can see him pushing. Raider, though, coming in from behind with a bit of a flank. He'll get flanked as well. We got a food chain here happening in midway line on training, and just enough to keep blue in this. They got plenty of time to make an impact here.
Yeah, see that BR coming back into play. Some of these players might still be more comfortable with the old weapon. Finally does take down that player. Witcho, though, with the assassination. Gonna trade out the kill for his team. And this is what I mean, though. So when blue team are getting kills, they're not really moving forward. And if you're not moving forward, it's going to be very difficult for anybody to get a flag pull or to even get some extra angles to kill the spawners. And once they are pushing, they're pushing one by one, and it's just not working so far.
Exactly, right? It's like how they're moving forward is just as important as whether or not they are moving forward.
Yes.
Like, I dig the confidence to dive out the stage, but going for mid by yourself, like without that perimeter first, is going to make things very tricky. And he found himself in between 2 players there. So definitely a rough situation. Witcho just trying to hold the line once again, and hopefully a rinse and repeat for these boys. Like you said, they got to spawn up. They got to push together.
Yeah, Rabinos not having a great game so far. Want him to kind of pick it up. Maybe not pushing by himself. One thing that can happen, though, if you're having a bad game like this, sometimes you might be more willing to sit back and play safer because you don't want your stats to get any worse, but that's not the right approach. You have to keep playing forward. Your team obviously needs some extra gunfire to win these battles. And finally, a great-looking pull for blue team, but Savage is on the other side, going to cause a distraction. He's going to pull the flag to the pit and maybe use this heat wave to cut off the flag player on the other side. He also gets taken down. That was a great play from blue team.
A wild attempt there to try to keep that flag in play. What do you think of him picking it up and then sprinting out on the plat? Like, I wonder if he maybe had an opportunity to stealth play that flag for a bit, considering he was last up. And just found himself kind of caught immediately. But, I mean, beauty for blue team, right? They walk away with a flag cap, a tie, and not only that, we've got an opportunity for more.
You have to wonder if maybe Savage, his little recon play to pull a flag by himself might have hurt the team a little bit. I mean, they had a little bit less gunfire to stave off the push from Los Chingones. And you're right, there is a stealth opportunity in flag. If you don't sprint at all, you just walk it. You don't show up on the flag indicator. So he could have maybe just walked his way through the courtyard and maybe gone through runway, done something tricky with it. But he probably recognized he had the heat wave and probably needed to put that to use to stop the flag. That's why he went for the kill. It didn't work out, and blue team with a very impressive tie up here in game 1.
They're still trying to make it work. I like this push. Jiren working with Hero. They're going to collapse together. A little 2-man push to find 2 kills. Make it 3 beautiful shots and a nice hot double out of Jiren. A little opening to get the pickup here. Tower side spawns. Does he have coverage? That's 3 dead. Teammates coming in to hopefully help him out. He's doing it all on his own here. This man trying to make the rotation, getting tagged up from behind, and honestly, great work. Is it enough? His teammates here pouring through long haul to get the touch. Everyone under pressure. Hero, massive play out of Hero, living up to his name as he makes a hero play to save it in long haul. He's still going.
No way.
Holy
he just killed
crap.
their whole team. 2 back-to-back doubles, and he's going to bring this flag all the way home. A Herculean effort out of Hero Brian. He's now 24 and 14, keeping his team alive. What an impressive showing here.
Jesus, he caps it as well. Hero almost finding another after the flag cap, but definitely did the job, right? Damage done. 24 kills to show for it as he saves that flag and keeps him on the board with an advantage this time.
Wow. I mean, it looked like it was all light him up at the beginning of this, but some signs of life from Los Chingones. This new sniper rifle could be a difference maker. Joby's got one and his teammate Raider has the other. So they actually have both snipers that spawned at the 3-minute mark. This could be what red team needs to get back into the situation, but Hero is just not going down. Every time he's in a fight, he seems to get the maximum damage output possible. He wasted so much of their time that his teammates are able to clean up the engagement as well. One of those snipers might change hands into the side of Los Chingones, which is massive in this moment here.
Super important point in the game with the rockets about to spawn, the OS as well. Joby in front of it, but just needs to make sure he stays alive to have an impact. They can convert this into a flagpole if they play it correctly. Look at the nades coming in. This man's in trouble. He'll drop one rocket behind, does get a kill. Rocket in position for a teammate to pick it up. And can they make progress with that? You can see the OS picked up by Hero. Hero on the flank as well. Things might get dicey here for Red if they don't activate.
They're going to have to take care of Hero. He's been the problem for them most of this game, and I think he's still got a lot of OS to work with as he finds the double. 3 members of Los Chingones in the base of light him up, but on the other side looks like, oh sorry, that was actually their own base. I misspoke there. So they were able to send all members back to protect their own flag, and now as a 3-pronged unit might be able to push up, but the pressure's still coming in from light him up.
If anything, they could just hold on to defense, maybe. At this point, we got 1 minute left. As I say, it looks like flag's been taken, so somebody did commit to the flank. They will pull the flag. Joby says, screw it, I'm not going back. I'm going for theirs. And it might be a joust for it. Wicko, little 1v1. Joby, can he take it? Oh, he's backing off. Just going to try to stay alive, give his teammates a chance here. It looks like they did manage to save that flag with just a minute left. They can maybe do this.
Oh.
Beautiful double. That's 3 dead.
The survivability out of Joby when it matters most. He knew that it was so important for him to stay alive here. Rabanos kind of panic moving there. No shields rushing into the flag. Probably could have waited. Jiren on the other side, but they forced the spawns all the way into the courtyard. So I have to imagine members of Los Chingones are able to probably cut off on the flag on the other side, which they do. They get the cutoff here through to a quick overextension play, and if they can return this, they could win the game.
No, that was a great call, Eli. The overextension came through. They got the return. 15 seconds. Looks like no dice, but they will do one more pull. As I say it, though, getting deleted. Ravenos, he comes back. He finds the defense. 6 seconds to make a mad dash to that flag, and it's not happening. What a clutch play out of blue. And I think you called it perfectly, right? Stacking your numbers over to one side of the map is, it's great in forcing the spawn, but if you're not spread out, you leave that lane open for a very easy counterattack and overextension, and just too much time taken to make that happen. I think one of the biggest moments I noticed it too, though, was when they did a swap, like a baton pass on the flag at the very end. One player was one shot, so Joby decided, okay, I'll pick it up instead. Let me run it. They lost timing in that exchange, though, where I felt like they would have kind of beaten them to the other side had that not happened.
Yeah, no, it's a great point that you make there, but I mean, great recognition from Los Chingones. They say, yeah, they've got the flag running long haul, but they had the timing off the spawn to just hit a quick route under the bridge, through the training, cut them off on the side. So that's going to be a 1-0 lead now for Los Chingones. Keep in mind, this is also a best of 3, and we're moving into Live Fire Slayer for game number 2. So we got to see a lot of sniper rifle action in game 1. We're going to see some more sniper rifle action game 2. But what are you looking to see different on the side of Light 'em Up to win this game 2, Alex?
Where are we headed again? Sorry, Eli?
Live Fire Slayer.
Live Fire Slayer. Okay, well, Sniper Control, of course, is going to be the name of the game for this one. So I'd like to see them just, play heavy off the opening strat. And just some coordinated team pushes, right? They need to make sure that they're complementing each other with the sight lines. Like, you don't want a push down one lane. I'd like to see, ideally, you're looking at like the Optic Gaming type of like perfect line push, right? From both perimeters through mid. And if they can kind of coordinate some of their approaches together and really capitalize on the OS and the sniper, then they'll be looking good.
Absolutely agree with you. I think the overshield control is going to be super important. Which team is going to rotate in advance to get control of that half of the map when Overshield's about to be up. You don't want to be too late to it, because if you show up too late, you might actually let the other team spawn there. It's very possible to just spawn right on the Overshield. So you kind of want to control space out there on both the sandbags and the tower, as well as the Overshield side before Overshield comes up. And also bottom middle, that lane through bottom middle, the dummy door and key door areas, very good spot to contest the Overshield from. Maybe get some grenades around the backside of the turbine. So the fights for Overshield are going to be very important. And I think one thing people don't think about enough on this game type is the heat wave. Heat wave can make all the difference. You can get very quick kills without taking too much damage if you can land a clean 2-tap. And if any clean kills in this game, just means you're going to have more firepower for the next engagement, which can often lead to 3 or 4 dead without losing too many numbers of your own.
And just to add to that, I mean, if you can do it, lock down hero, shut down hero, I think, in this game, and that's going to be probably their biggest opportunity to get a close. Take those power weapons and make sure hero does not get an opportunity to convert the situation on you, because definitely the main slayer to look out for, and probably the biggest play I think he made midway through the game to save that second flag. I'm expecting to see a little bit more of that kind of clutch potential out of him if they're not careful.
Definitely agree with you. Hero has been the difference maker for Los Chingones since this tournament started, since the very first game we watched, which was Live Fire Ball, by the way, and he started off with some insane snipes. So I have to imagine he's even more warmed up than he was then, and if he gets a hold of that sniper, he could spell disaster for Light 'em Up here in game 2.
We'll kick it off with Raider. Looks like a clean, open sight line for him to push up to repulse. Ooh. As I say it, though, that's like a season 2-esque plasma combo shot cross map. Connects with him, and Jiren doesn't commit to the kill, though. He'll back off, get close to the team as the push comes in. He's got Savage with him, hopefully for a red team pinch and a cleanup. Nicely done.
You said season 2 plasma pistol. I was thinking of the Halo 2 plasma pistol. That thing had insane tracking, even more than the one we used to game. But the Overshield came up. Looks like Savage may be able to get it. No, it's still on the ground here. Rabinos going to make a dash for it while the team is dead. He's going to get the Overshield, and there's a sniper on the ground. I think gonna let one of his teammates grab it. Probably gave it to Hero.
I don't think he let him.
Yeah, he just went and snagged it. Didn't even have the time to ping it for him. He said, "That's mine. Let me take this and rip some faces off." But I don't think Rabinos has minds that at all. He's got full faith in his teammates to put that sniper to use, and looks like it went down. So he's like, "All right, you didn't pop off with it. Let me try this for once." So see if he can get any value out of this Overshield and sniper. I'd like to see him play a bit forward, but he's not really sure where to look in this moment.
Oh, okay. Interesting. He definitely had the radar for it, right? He picked up snipe. He's like, on second thought, I want to be the aggressor here. Let me, take the brunt of the attention with the OS, start to get aggressive, and I'd like to see it, right? Wicco down below, just causing chaos. He'll die. Push not coming in, though. They didn't really help each other off of that play. Now he's backing off while his team pushes out through Nest side. They're just trying to juggle all these angles here as Red just slowly kind of comes in with the collapse.
Yeah, Rabinos not really having a clear game plan. He seems to be playing very reactive Halo. If you're the Overshield player, you have to be proactive. You have to be the one to start the engagement. He ended up just kind of waiting around for long enough for the Overshield to fully deplete. So they actually get no value out of it. And he's not really sure how to best serve his team. I think he's probably listening to callouts. Maybe a little bit more pressure than he's experienced playing this game before. I mean, it's a high intense situation. Grand finals of a tournament might be the first time he's ever been in this position, so the nerves are understandable. But can't get scared in moments like these. You got to stay courageous. You got to push forward. You got to have your gun in the fight because your team needs that extra firepower.
Definitely still navigating this despite that, though, right? 17 and counting as they got a nice 7-kill advantage. They're really committing to holding tower side, which can definitely work. I think if you've got these complementary sight lines, especially if they're pushing one at a time like we're seeing at a Red here, a little bit staggered on the push, and Blue taking full advantage of this, and Jiren just looking like a turret. He's 6-3, not going to give up positioning, finding long-range rifleman shots here, too. Got to really give credit to the man. He's got a good arm on him.
Yeah, honestly, I love the way he played that situation. A lot of players would maybe panic and drop off of the bridge to maybe chase that one shot when he was bottom of the nest, but instead he just predicted that player would try to fully disengage, hits the headshot during the slide, able to maintain his positioning on this half of the map, and gets the kill. Very effective and efficient gameplay from Jiren.
Still locking down the sight line, but once again, we talked about power weapons. That was the heat wave that just went down there. He's going to look to collect it. Does have it. That snipe we saw picked up earlier, I think by Red as well. as the heat wave's a hot potato. Lunacy looking to bring us back into this game. He's currently 7-4. He's got a full snipe to work with, and teammates drawing attention. If anyone's going to make a play, it's got to be him.
Yeah, I'd like to see him take a bit safer positioning, maybe go all the way back green or disengage all the way into the garage as he's doing here. Recognizing Overshield's going to be up soon. I'd like him to maybe take a spot on the small window, see if he can pick off any players pushing on the dummy side. He's going to try to play a little bit more forward though, but with 10 seconds for Overshield, you kind of want to start moving your units out there. Instead, Light 'em Up is leaning towards the other side. They're going to give this space by Overshield to Los Chingones, and that's not what you want to do right now.
Rotation's starting to happen, but yeah, this is the risk that you run, right? They have access to Shroud. They had free reign to OS, so just no dice, no opportunity for Red to really collapse and make it work. We are still seeing a push through mid here as they do secure some trades, but ultimately Blue getting the mileage they wanted off of that OS and still holding the advantage. 23 here and counting. Lunacy, though, he finally makes his way to tower. Only a netted trade, though.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was maybe a play call in the comms to try to push out the green and nest side of the map, but that was not the time to do it. And you don't want to just give the Overshield for free. You usually want to contest it in some way, shape, or form. If you're going to give it away for free, at least get the plasma pistol as a countermeasure, but didn't see that either. And right now it's Los Chingones with a 9-kill lead into the halfway mark.
This is where things start to get dicey here for our red team. They don't want... Wow. I say it. 4 dead, though, for Blue. Huge
almost
opportunity. Instant. Yeah, the perfect type of situation. And this is where you can kind of get the ball rolling and create some sort of a spawn collapse. They're still holding the line, though. And, you know, as long as they're doing what they're doing together, I guess I respect it. But you don't want to give them too much space, I find, off of these spawns and Slayer. If you can really keep them under pressure and collapse while you have the opportunity, you should do it. Because now they're kind of roaming.
Yeah, I mean, I like the positioning from Lunacy. He's playing a safe angle to keep the members of Los Chingones at bay, trapped in A. But while he's doing that, you would want his teammates to maybe push up and go through big door or like apply constant pressure, go through bottom mid. But they're just kind of holding the line, and that's not what you need to do when you're down. You have to kind of press, get another clean 4 dead. When you get 4 dead, you want to get the most out of that situation and get even more kills. But I hate to say it, but it feels like Light 'em Up might have missed an opportunity to press their advantage state there.
And the map flips once again. This time we got the snipe in the heat wave on the side of Blue. We got a repulse up if he wants to go grab it. Kind of tantalizing. Snipe about the spawn, though.
So
maybe
is
an
OS.
Opportunity for Red to get to it. Yeah, huge moment in the game here in Blue. They do collect it. And Savage, what does he shoot? There's too many targets. He gets melted. That snipe now up in mid, and Blue with an advantage for it.
Not only did they get the overshield, but after winning that fight, Rabinos able to grab the sniper and Amazon prime it to his teammate. Fastest delivery I've seen in a while. Just drops it. I don't know if any member was able to pick it up just yet, but this overshield still on Jiren. He's got the heat wave as well, just making life difficult for Light 'em Up. And the pressure is just mounting here. The lead is growing. Now 11 kill lead, leading, and only 15 to go for Los Chingones.
Light 'em Up running out of opportunities here, and the pressure's it's only getting worse as he find the kill. What the Joby will come away with a Jedi-esque double. Completely confusing hero. And is that enough to get the ball rolling? They're down by 10 though, as I say it. Jiren not making it easy. 17-6 this man, as he's not about to let him turn it around.
Lead was down to 9. Right back to 10. I mean, if they just, at this point, when you're up by 10, the game plan is just to trade out kills until the end. I mean, closer to the finish line of winning the game. And right now, Los Chingones don't really have a reason to push. They can wait for the other team to push to them. They're going to maybe slow it down a little bit, set a trap, maybe play a little cheeky angle, but Jiren's going to keep applying some pressure to keep them off. If this kill gets traded out, it'll be worth that play. But I don't know, Jiren maybe getting a little impatient there. I don't think he necessarily needed to play down there in this moment.
I mean, I don't dislike it. It's just whether or not your teammates join you, right? Like
that's true. Yeah,
he's pushing down through pillars, which can work if you have a teammate that maybe G slides out to nest and just kind of supports him with an angle, but finds himself in the middle of it because of it. Jiren not worried about it though, right? He's right back into the fray. Finds 18 kills now. OS about to spawn. If there's any opportunity for our red team, it's going to come down to OS and Lunacy. He's on top of it.
Gonna leave the repulsor there. I'd like to see him pick that back up. It doesn't really have the opportunity though. Overshield already shredded. He did get a kill out of it though. Got some value. Maybe would have liked to see more, but Wow, just look at how aggressive we're seeing Los Chingones. They're constantly flanking, getting around these players. Anytime that it looks like Light 'em Up might have an advantage, they're just getting flanked in the very next engagement, and now just 2 kills to close out the grand finals.
Soar, like, you can't lose these boys. They're wolf packing. They're rolling together. Look at this right in the A. What do you do, Savage? It's a savage way to go. Collapsed on by the team for a 50-35 close, and I believe our tournament, Eli, over to blue.
Wow. We saw these guys win the first series of the day, and they looked really strong then, but they look even stronger now. Like I said, I mean, we started the day watching Hero put up some big stats. That game, he put up 18. Jiren matching him, 18 kills of their own. Wow. And wow, congratulations for winning the very first Odd Spartan tournament that we've got put on. This has been an incredible showcase of some of our amateur talent in the community.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest highlight, is just getting to spotlight some of these amateur players. I think there are so many kind of growing, talents, like you said, in Halo. And what a great opportunity. I mean, $1,000 down, you come in, you're here for what, 3 hours, you come out with 1K. I mean, not too shabby. And I think if we keep this up, we're going to see a lot more teams, a lot more kind of budding talents in Halo really jump in and join the fray, because this is a great opportunity, Eli. I think we can see that.
Absolutely. And guess what, guys? I talked to the tournament organizers before this, and guess what? They're going to do more of these. I think the plan is in the next month or two to put another one of these on. We're going to put up some more money for the community. You'll probably have me and Alex on the mics once again. So what you guys can do if you want to get involved, because this is kind of getting off the ground right now, is follow the Odd Spartan on Twitter. I'm going to go ahead and spam his Twitter in the channel here. Make sure you go follow him, and that's where you're going to see any updates, any announcements for the future tournaments. If you want to be involved, go ahead and follow this Twitter that I just put in. It's not going to let me spam it because moderations. But well, it let me put the link in, but somebody else, everybody spam it. Just copy and paste that. Go follow it, and just be ready for the next one, because the next one's going to be a bit better. This is kind of a learning experience for us, and it's going to get better and better from here.
Oops, wrong chat. Wait, here it is. Let me put it in for you guys. Hold on.
Appreciate all the kind words, guys.
There we go.
Glad you enjoyed the cast. Hopefully you guys got to learn a few things. Well,
yeah, no, I think a great learning opportunity for the both of us, Eli. I think for the players as well. Hopefully they can, go back to the drawing board a bit, put some practice in, and come back and regain. Because great opportunity for players and for us, I think, to cast some great matches. I think you said it best, though. We got more coming up with this, and I can't wait to see what happens with it. I think definitely gonna have to talk about it too, and inspire some of these some teams to join, so we can have more matches to cast, Eli. It should be a hell of a lot of fun. Big shout out to Elephant Money as well. I know Elephant Money is the main sponsor for the broadcast. They're supporting us for this, and can't wait to see what we can do working with them in the future.
Absolutely. All right, guys. So that's going to be it for us. Just want to say thanks for tuning in, everybody. Definitely follow Twitter for updates for future events, and we'll probably have some announcements. Maybe get some Discord invites on the Twitter as well, so you guys can get involved with the community and be ready for the next one. But thanks for tuning in, everybody, and hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Y'all take care.